Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I am participating in a YouTube hop for the Rainbow Crush Challenge. It's a monthly challenge. It's hosted by Tara from the Paper Snob. All the information will be in the information box below, along with a playlist so you can hop along with the other scrapbookers who are participating. So with this challenge, every month Tara puts down in her Facebook group what the color of the month will be. So for October, it's orange. I'm pretty sure you can tell just because of those two big orange pieces of cardstock right there on the middle of my screen. So I decided to gather all of my fall papers and look at they're almost all gone, which makes me happy for two reasons. One, that means I'm using my paper, which is always a good thing. And two, I get to buy more. Fall is my favorite season, and I love all the colors that come with fall, especially orange, yellow, those kind of colors. So I'm just going through looking at the scraps that I have. I really want to stick to that orange theme. Most of these papers, even though they're different lines, they do coordinate because fall is fall. I have these stickers and also dies from Bo Bunny, which I'm going to try to use as the accent because there's a lot of good colors in there that I don't have in the papers. So I like this paper, but if you notice, the larger letters say farmer's market. Look at these photos have nothing to do with the farmer's market, but I do like the look of it. And also the other words say like happy, autumn, together, just all those kind of things. So I'm going to use that as the main paper, and then also that beautiful orange gingham to coordinate with it. So the first thing I'm doing, like I mentioned, the color is orange. So I have orange cardstock. I'm deciding what am I going to do. So I'm going to cut some papers down to 11 inches, and the first one's going to be 11 by 9, and then that additional 3 inches are going to be added to the right side of the layout. So you're going to get 9 inches on the left side and 3 on the other. So that way it just flows. Look at that. I love that look. I love doing 2-page layouts. Now I cut off 1 inch off the top of this paper. This is the back side of that orange gingham. So I don't have to do another inch because I have that inch. And I was so happy because I wasn't sure if the gingham, I guess, was going the right direction, but look, it's perfect. So I didn't have to do a second chop, so I saved some more of that paper. And then I'm going to cut down 2 pieces of brown cardstock at 4 by 12, and those are going to go horizontally. Again, just to make these 2 pages flow. I know for a fact this is the paper or how I'm laying down the background paper. Perfect. And now I have to figure out where am I putting the photos, and then of course later the embellishments. I don't know if you can tell by the photos, but these are not one occasion. It's basically my month in review for November. There was a lot going on in November. And even though these events happened, I didn't want to do a whole 12 by 12 layout of just the 1 or 2 photos that I take. So I do these month in reviews pretty often. And if you subscribe to my channel, and if you're not, please feel free to do so. You'll see that I do that a lot. Right now, I'm just going through the die cut packet from that Bo Bunny and also the stickers here. Look at how pretty all those blues and stuff. I don't end up using a lot of those blues, which is weird. I really, really, really wanted to use those leaves, but even as I'm playing around with them, I just wish there was more color. I mean, there's so many colors of fall, and I'm going to be honest with you, I've had this pack for a long time, so I probably used the ones that were really pretty, but I didn't want a bunch of brown leaves. I mean, there was one green one, but even that one green one was kind of weirdly shaped. I don't know. So I'm playing around with it now. I'm going to play around with it again later, and I'm going to play around with it again before I actually put them down. But if you're like me, which I'm sure you are, we all do that same thing. It's funny how we know what we want to use, and it just doesn't feel right. And even though there may not be like, a law, I'm going to say, use the term law, but of why it doesn't look right, but you just know it doesn't look right. And so you just kind of fiddle it until you finally just say, forget it, I'm just going to plop it down, which is exactly what I end up doing. So right now I'm just speed adhering the background papers because, like I mentioned, I knew for a fact I was going to do that. That was an easy part. And I love, again, the way it just flows. And this was just something I decided to do. Probably done something like this similar, that doesn't take a whole lot to think, oh, how can I coordinate the left and the right side, use the same papers. That makes sense. So I did decide to keep those 3 photos up there. And you see how I have that paper? It looks like a 3x4. It's actually a little bit bigger than a 3x4. I'm going to be using that as a placeholder because you probably didn't notice early on when I was looking at the photos. I have a photo of my son and daughter-in-law's our dogs, and it didn't turn out. So I'm going to reprint it, but this time I'm going to do it in a wallet size. I don't need it to be a big 4x6, but so I'm using that as a placeholder. But I wanted to say, I use my Cricut mat to help me eyeball and put things straight or even. And most of the time I'm fine with that. But I also have a T-square ruler, so I thought, hey, take that T-square ruler out and use it. So when I did, I don't know if you noticed, but those pictures were pretty straight. So I was pretty proud of myself that one time because I don't know about you, but even using the rulers, nothing comes out straight. It drives me crazy, but also it's hilarious because that's so me. I hang a picture up on the wall and I swear I use the level. I, measure everything's perfect. And then you look at it, it's crooked. So that's just me and I'm okay with it. One thing I did here is you see how I grabbed one of the stickers for that top right-hand corner. I put it down very, very loosely or lightly because I didn't want it to stick there because I wasn't 100% sure if that's where I wanted it. But in a little bit, you're going to see me grab a piece of white cardstock and I'm actually going to mat it with cardstock. So that way it's a little bit easier for me to move around. And also, to be honest with you, I love the way it looked. It just really stood out a lot more. So that was like a happy accident. And I'm sure you guys come up with these too. And it's so funny because you think you're doing everything right. You do one little thing and you're like, oh my God, that was so much better. Like, that's so crazy, We're just going through the motions, but we're doing everything exactly how it's supposed to be. And I absolutely love that. So anyhow, that's what I'm talking about. But look at how much of a difference that makes. But also, like I said, it makes it easier for me to move around because I may not put it there. Or I might. You guys got to wait and see. So here I am just again fussing with all these little embellishments because again, I mean, if I put it, a quarter of an inch to the left or the right, it might make a huge difference. I love that about scrapbooking. It does. You just want to make sure it's in the right placement. And a lot of times, you're fussing with it for so long and so much that you finally just say, forget it. I have to put it down. And if you don't like it, it's okay because nothing is, how do I say that? Not nothing, but everything looks right, so no matter what you decide to do, it's the right move. And so it takes a while to figure that out, but we do end up figuring it out after a while. So again, I'm just looking at saying, okay, I got the photos down. First, I got the background papers down. I got the photos down. And now, let me kind of repeat the process with adding cardstock to those sentiments and actually putting them in certain places. I like this one because I did it kind of like a Polaroid in a sense, I guess a rectangle Polaroid, a little bit longer on the bottom than the mats everywhere else. I did that intentionally in case I wanted to add some stuff right there. There's lots of places on this page to add a journaling spot, embellishments, and a title. So I think that's what makes it so confusing. When you have a little bit of an area, it's easy just to get through it. But I definitely like the way it turned out at the end. Look at that journaling spot that I got from that die cut pack. Originally, I just put it aside and thought, nah, I'm not going to use that. I didn't like it. But it is so perfect right there. And it was such a big area. Like, what else was I going to do with it? Yeah, sure, I could have made a cardstock journaling spot. Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. But I love that I was able to use that, added more color to the page, and it coordinates with everything. So it's perfect. I did not do journaling here right now because there's a couple of photos in here that are probably going to make me cry if I start talking about them. But I did want to at least put the journaling spot down because I know it's going to finish the page. I mentioned before I was going to add that cardstock right there as just a spot holder. So I put that down completely, but you'll see in a minute that I don't put full adhesive on that other sentiment because I want to be able to tuck that photo in. And that's a good tip. So if you're just not 100% sure, or you're waiting for a photo, because I've done that before where I think I've printed all my photos and then I realize, no, there's one missing. So just put adhesive on the corner that is going to be adhered, and then leave the top part open so you can tuck it in. And if you feel the need to add more adhesive at that point, you can definitely do that. See, like I did right there. And now for that blank spot, I'm going to go to my Cricut and I'm going to make a title, and you'll see me add that in just a minute. But this is another one of my faves. You see all those just random words. And again, look at all those beautiful colors. Another fun way to add colors to this layout. And I'm just adding some here, there, and everywhere. And they're just little words like fall and smile. And I think one says Thanksgiving or blessing or things like that. Just to add a little bit of color and add a little bit more to those clusters. How fun is that? Decided to add some acorns. Look at, I'm just going for it now, right? But let me talk really quick about the YouTube hop. So again, this is based on a Facebook group called The Paper Snob, and I'll have all the information in the information box. And it's the second Wednesday of every month. We get a color choice that we're going to be using on our layouts that needs to be at least 70% of your layout that color. I think I've really hit that even by just having the orange as the cardstock base, but at least 70%, and then the rest any other color you want. And it's just a lot of fun. It's a really fun hop. Everybody has such good information and great layouts. I'm telling you, it's pretty amazing. So please get a chance to do that hopping. The playlist will be in my information box. Leave comments, leave love. People appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I do hope you like this video. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I do post at least 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the Command Center, which is the name of my scrap room and also my blog. Thank you so much for watching. As always, appreciate you. Bye.